dive into the chilling depths of the Forgotten Village, where 5 friends uncover the mysteries of a ghostly village erased from the maps. Join Marcus, Elsie, Darren, Nina, and Joel as they embark on a spine-tingling adventure into the dense, eerie woods of the old Harrowsmith region. Armed only with an old map and their curiosity, they stumble upon a forgotten village, triggering a series of supernatural events that will change their lives forever. Now, if you haven't done it already, be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel so we can keep bringing you more videos just like this one. So without wasting any more time, let's get right into it. It was a dreary October evening when 5 friends, Marcus, Elsie, Darren, Nina, and Joel, set out on what they believed would be an adventurous weekend, hiking through the dense woods of the old Harrowsmith region. Laden with backpacks, their spirits high with the thrill of exploration, they ventured on the beaten path, guided only by an old hand-drawn map Marcus had found in his grandfather's attic. The map was peculiar, detailed with sketches of landmarks no longer recorded on modern GPS devices, a crumbling tower, a spectral tree, and a forgotten village. It was this village that had captured their imagination, a place wiped from modern maps as if it had surrendered to nature's reclaim. As they got deeper into the forest, the canopy above blotted out the weak autumn sun, casting long shadows that played tricks on their eyes. The air grew colder, the path beneath their feet muddied by recent rains, obscured with overgrown roots. It was Elsie who first noticed the silence. No birds sang here, no insects chirped. The forest was unnervingly silent, pressing in on them with the weight of unseen eyes. Hours passed, and just as the sun began to set, casting an eerie twilight, they found it. The village. It appeared suddenly between the trees like a specter. Rows of ancient cottages, their roofs sagging, gardens overtaken by wild thorns, a cobblestone well in the center covered in moss. Excitement surged through the group as they entered the village, their flashlights cutting through the fog that had begun to roll in. The cottages were empty shells, furniture rotted and covered in dust, as if the villagers had vanished mid-meal. Marcus led them to the largest house, presumably where the village leader had once lived. Inside, the air was cool and smelled of earth and decay. They explored the house, finding trinkets and old photographs of people long gone. It was then that Joel, the most skeptical of the group, pointed out a family portrait that bore an uncanny resemblance to Elsie. The likeness was striking, sending a chill through them. As darkness settled, they decided to camp inside the house. Unrolling their sleeping bags in the main hall, they lit a small fire in the old hearth. The flames threw ghostly shadows against the walls, the light flickering as if reluctant to disturb the gloom. The night deepened, and with it came the noises. Footsteps upstairs, whispers around them, sounds of a life that should no longer exist. Nina, who had always been sensitive to spirits, felt uneasy, her eyes wide as she whispered,
"We're not alone here."
At midnight, a bell rang, clear and cold, the sound coming from the village square. Compelled, they stepped outside, following the sound to the well where they saw the village, not as ruins, but vibrant and alive with spectral figures. Villagers in dated garb moved around them, transparent yet vividly detailed, reenacting scenes of their daily lives, oblivious to the modern intruders. The friends stood, frozen in shock as a ghostly procession approached them, led by a figure who was stern yet regal, her gaze piercing. She looked exactly like Elsie. The spectral woman stopped before them, her lips moving in a silent decree. As she gestured to the well, an invisible force drew them toward it. Terrified, they resisted, but the force was insurmountable. One by one, they were compelled to look into the well's depths. There, in the dark water, they saw not their reflections, but faces of villagers, their expressions twisted in sorrow and pain. The spectral woman spoke then, her voice a whisper carried on the wind.
"You bear the bloodline of the betrayer who condemned us to this eternal replay. You must right the wrongs to free these souls."
Elsie, her face pale with shock, looked at her friends, her voice trembling.
"My great-grandfather talked about this place. He left suddenly, moved to the city. He never spoke of why."
Understanding dawned on them. Elsie's ancestor was responsible for a betrayal that led to the village's curse. As the realization settled, the spectral woman handed Elsie an amulet, her touch cold as ice.
To break the curse, one must stay, to keep the spirits company.
The woman's voice echoed. Elsie looked at her friends, tears in her eyes, knowing what she had to do. With a shaky breath, she accepted the amulet, nodding solemnly. The friends protested, but as Elsie placed the amulet around her neck, the spirits began to vanish, their forms dissipating into mist, faces relaxing into peaceful expressions. The village began to crumble, returning to ruins, the spell breaking. As dawn broke, the friends, now 4, packed their gear. They glanced back at the ruins, where Elsie had stood just hours before. Now she was nowhere to be seen. The village quiet once more, its curse lifted. They walked back through the forest, the path now clear and the air filled with the sounds of birdsong. The oppressive silence was gone, replaced by a gentle breeze that seemed to whisper thanks. They reached the car in silence, each lost in their own thoughts. Darren finally broke the quiet.
She did it for all of us.
Nina nodded, her eyes moist.
She's part of the village now, part of its history and its peace. Maybe that's where she was always meant to be.
Joel, always the skeptic, looked back toward the forest, a newfound respect in his gaze.
I never believed in any of this, but now, I don't know. Maybe there's more to our world than we can see or understand.
Marcus drove them away, the rearview mirror reflecting the empty road behind them. As they left the boundaries of the old Harrowsmith region, Marcus thought he saw a figure in the mirror, standing at the edge of the woods, watching them leave. A woman, her appearance echoing Elsie's, but dressed in the old garb of the village. He blinked, and she was gone. Back in the city, life resumed. But the 4 friends were changed. Each year, on the anniversary of that night, they returned to the edge of the woods, leaving flowers by the path. And each year, they felt her there with them. Elsie, their friend, the village's final guardian. Their experience became a story passed down through their families, a tale of curiosity, of bravery, and of sacrifice. And though they never spoke much of it to others, in their hearts, they carried the eerie and wondrous truth of the forgotten village, a place lost to maps but indelibly etched in their souls, a haunting reminder of the thin veil between the past and the present, between the seen and the unseen. Marcus, Darren, Nina, and Joel carry with them not just memories, but a new understanding of the thin veil between the past and the present, the seen and the unseen. They've learned that some places, though lost to time, remain alive with stories waiting to be told, and sometimes, to free others, one must make the ultimate sacrifice. Thank you for joining us on this haunting journey through the Forgotten Village. Remember, the past may whisper its secrets, but only those who listen can unravel its mysteries. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to subscribe to support my channel. Until our next adventure, keep wondering, keep watching, and dare to explore the unknown.